Hello, Pile One. Thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you are ready to find out what your harvest blessings are going to be, because that's what we're doing for our reading today. Sorry, I suck at these intros as always, but without further ado, I've already selected your oracle cards because we're going to be working with several oracle cards here, but you will hear me do some tarot shuffling. As far as the blessings that are coming your way, it's almost like a prerequisite to manifest the goals, the dreams, the desires that you have. You have to go through this energy that you're about to go through or that you're currently going through. And that's to get rid of the self-limiting beliefs and to get rid of the boxes that you guys put yourselves in, and to have the confidence to step out, be different, and let go of the past. And I think the blessing that's coming here is this confidence to unapologetically be you and to allow the past to be the past, to stop blaming yourself for whatever happened, to stop constantly reminiscing and ruminating over the past and what you could have done differently, and oh, if I started earlier, or oh, if I just did this, or if someone didn't do that. You're stepping away from that, and you're really focused on creating a blank slate for you to actually move forward and to live a more peaceful life that's focused on actually cultivating abundance. I feel like you guys have really lived for a very long time with this self-judgment energy. And that could stem from years of bullying or a rough childhood or negative life experiences that have really held you back from stepping into your highest potential. I think there are many things that you would say that you want to do and accomplish, but you feel held back, or you feel you're too old, or you feel like it's impossible. But the truth of the matter is you're the only one that's really holding yourself back from actually reaching the goals that you want to achieve, because we have the Poppy card here, and this card says, "My dreams are available to me." And I feel like going through this process of finding your confidence, finding your main character energy, and stepping away from this idea that you're not good enough will start to open a lot more doors and start leading you down a path that's way more aligned with you. The journal prompt question that goes with Poppy is, what does my dream life look like? Obviously, that's going to be very different for everyone here, but I think you have a very nice picture of what you want the rest of your life to look like. And I think the stories that you've told yourself over and over and over have been to protect your ego and to avoid shame or to avoid failure, to avoid danger, so to say, with this boar here. And I think you've got it in your head, or you've lived with the mentality for a really long time that life has to be a struggle, or that reaching your goals is going to take forever. And if you didn't start when you were X, Y, and Z age, or when you looked like X, Y, and Z, then there's no way that you're going to be able to accomplish it now. You've boxed yourself into a pretty aggressive energy, a pretty negative energy too, that is keeping you, it's keeping your perspective small so that you're not able to actually see the reality of life in front of you. And the reality is that you are able to accomplish what you want and what you desire. But I think your mindset really needs to shift, and not specifically your mindset about what you need to do or what you need to accomplish, but your mindset around yourself and what you're actually capable of. I think some of you guys have gotten into a bit of a monotonous life energy, or a monotonous, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a cycle of life where maybe you're overly reliant on other people, or you rely on validation from other people. There's a lot of outside sources here, and I think that's why you've boxed yourself in so small, because you're constantly focused on pleasing other people instead of being pleasing to yourself. And with the shift that's happening here, you might go through an experience or two where you're faced with the opportunity to mend this insecurity that allows you to step into a fuller version of yourself. And what I mean by fuller, I mean the version of you that isn't afraid to take up space, that isn't afraid to be who you are, who isn't afraid to express your dreams and your goals, who's unapologetically themselves, and who doesn't rely on the support of others in order to try new things. I think for a very long time, there was a point in my life where even I'm just going to use me as an example, where I really relied on other people to help me raise my confidence. I felt like I needed the validation of other people, or I needed people to tell me that what I was doing was good, when in reality, the only person that I really needed to please was myself. And once you start making that shift into realizing that if you're your own best friend, nothing can really knock you down. If you're happy and you are content with who you are and the work that you put out there, and you're content with the pace that you're going at, those insecurities kind of start to go away, because you're not putting power in other people's hands to dictate who you are and what you're capable of. The power goes back into your hands. And I think you're coming to this point because Spirit has heard your cries, your calls of wanting change, wanting newness, wanting to live a more abundant life, wanting to live a more happy and full life. But until these blockages or these insecurities, whatever you want to call them, are dealt with, and you're able to work through that and really truly look at yourself and be independent and honestly to have your back, until you're able to really have your own back, it's going to be hard to move to the next level that you're envisioning for yourself. I'm not saying it's impossible, and I'm not saying that these insecurities need to go away 110%, because sometimes there are just things that we are going to be battling throughout our entire lives, and that's just that's the reality of things. But you can get to a place where you're so content and fulfilled with your own self that you don't have to settle for less from other people, and you don't have to make yourself small in order to fit into a group and in order to feel like you belong somewhere. And that really is the true present that you can give yourself. And I know people say all the time, oh, you should love yourself. Oh, you need to be your own best friend. But honestly, guys, it's almost a necessity in this world. I'm not saying to not rely on people, because everyone needs a friend. Everyone needs someone that they consider family, their go-to person, Everyone needs community. But I think the community that you've surrounded yourself with, either some of them don't want to see you succeed, or some of them just think small, Sometimes people don't even realize that they're keeping their friends in a box or keeping their family members in a box because they themselves can't even think bigger. And I think because you've become reliant on these people's perceptions and opinions of you, you've been willing to keep yourself small in order to fit the idea and the narrative that they kind of go along with. But you got to look at these people's lives. And I'm not even saying that they have a horrible life. Their life could be completely full of abundance to them, but to you, you would feel drained and empty if you were living their life. So why are you trying to box yourself into a square that fits in this small perception of this person, when you could be exploring and expanding and growing into a greater version of abundance and what that means for you. I really hope this is making sense. The true blessing here that you're receiving is to not need the validation of others, is to feel whole and content in yourself, and to realize that relying on yourself and being your number one support system is the best thing that you can do for yourself and for others. I think there are people you might want to bring along with you on this journey, or you might want to change their perceptions and make them see what you see. But I think Spirit wants you to know that right now is really not the time to be looking out for other people or to be playing mom. Obviously, if you are a mother or a father, you have children, take care of the people that you have to, you know what I mean. But sometimes life comes to a point where you can't be other people's keeper. And sometimes you have to let people be themselves and learn their own lessons. And maybe letting these people go or loosening your grip on them is a scary thought, because you're scared of what that would mean for your long-term relationship with them, or you're scared of the paths that they might take. But at the end of the day, that's not your responsibility, and what you are responsible for is you and your own happiness and health, taking care of yourself, helping the people who want to be helped, who want to healthily be shown the way, who aren't overly reliant on you to do everything for them, Leading by example is a strong phrase that I'm being told right now, and you're being called to refocus your energy and turn it back onto you in order to help yourself throughout this journey right now. The blessings that are coming to you is seeing yourself in a new light and understanding what it means to be you and what you need, what makes you tick, what makes you feel motivated, what makes you happy, what makes you feel energized, truly knowing yourself. Because I think some of you guys, you want this great life, but you don't know where to start, and you don't know where to start because you don't know what you need, because you've been so focused on other people's needs. And I just keep being called back to this sentence on the Reaper. It says, "For the birth of something new to manifest, the death of something holding you back is inevitable." It's time for you to release what's holding you back, whether this is a person, a place, a job, a habit. There are some nasty habits that can sneak up on us, that can block us from our full energy levels. They can, I'm thinking maybe you're not eating enough. Maybe you're around people who are always negative. Maybe your job doesn't pay you what you rightfully deserve. Those are all things that, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, those are things that can really take a toll on not only our health, but just our spiritual well-being. And I think Spirit says, if you truly want this change in your life and you truly want to step into newness, you need to start taking action and showing the universe that you're ready to change. I feel that we get out what we give, and not in this superficial sense of you need to be giving to other people, but showing the universe that you do care about yourself, that you want better for yourself, that you are willing to commit to a better life. That's what's going to help bring in change. Showing that you're committed to you, because you deserve goodness and abundance and prosperity. And it's interesting that we have Abundanita, or Abundantia, as the goddess who is helping you. She's holding a cornucopia, and I feel like that has something to do with Thanksgiving, which is ironic because we're doing a Thanksgiving blessings reading. But she is the goddess of prosperity. The universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. And you can't be open if your mind is focused on other things, and if you're not focused on being open, if you're not focused on the goodness and the possibilities that surround you. And I think her card is so colorful, and I feel like a lot of you guys might resonate with feeling like you've been living life in black and white, and you're ready for color to come back and rejuvenate you. And to show you that life doesn't have to be this hard. Life doesn't have to be this boring or monotonous. But if you keep doing the same things you're doing that you know isn't working, then how are you going to be in the places and in the spaces, whether that be mentally or physically, to actually receive newness that you're craving? I think dream journaling or like visual representations of what you want to manifest could be really helpful for you. Like maybe you're scripting what kind of life you want to live in the future. Maybe you have a Pinterest board where you just make collages of all the things that you want to experience or what you want your life to look like. You need something that constantly reminds you of what you're working for and why you're making the changes that you are. Because I think getting out of, I'm not saying that you guys are in a hole, but some of you guys I think would definitely resonate with being in a rut. And a great way to get out of a rut is to remember why you started. Remember why you're making these changes, because it can be really hard to start and stick to new routines and new habits. But if you have something like motivational quotes or even a wall in your house, maybe it's your fridge where you just, you put all of your reasons for why you're doing X, Y, and Z and what you're hoping to accomplish, sooner or later, you're going to start to see things move and grow. And that's going to be the most rewarding feeling ever. And I know you guys can accomplish it because Spirit here is encouraging it. They wouldn't be encouraging it if they didn't think you could accomplish it, which I know for a fact you can accomplish anything you set your mind to. It's in your cards. But it's time to quit limiting yourself in what you're capable of. Because once you stop that, that is going to be the biggest blessing to you that you might not even recognize right now. It's going to change your world in incredible ways. You just have to trust the process. And you have to believe that you are deserving of greater and that you can make the changes that you need to in order to live a better life. So if that resonates, let's go ahead and get into the tarot portion of your reading. I feel like anytime I do blessings readings, they're always like a little different than other creators. I don't know, I just feel like mine get a little deeper than I intend, but you know what? Can't force the messages, right? We just take what we gotta take and we spill what the Spirit wants to spill. So, Spirit, how are you helping pile one? Okay, so we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed, and see, I didn't write out questions, so I'm just kind of thinking like personally for you guys. What can pile one do to help themselves on this journey? What can pile one do to help themselves on this journey? Have the Moon reversed. How will pile one's life change after receiving this blessing? Have the Five of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords reversed. And what does pile one's future self want pile one to know? What does pile one's future self want pile one to know? Woo, that was way too many cards. I cannot take that many. So sorry. What does pile one's future self want them to know? I feel like there's just so much that they want you to know. Okay, we've got the Queen of Cups and the Six of Cups. Okay, so this is actually some really positive energy, and I'm really glad I get to deliver this message here for you guys today. So, as far as where or how the universe is helping you and supporting you right now, the Nine of Pentacles reversed is definitely like a sluggy, lazy, not calling you lazy, but like the energy of the card is pretty lazy. It's not really quick moving at all. It's becoming uninterested, even like I would say low-key depressed. And I feel like this is Spirit's way of saying, if this is how you have been feeling recently, you've been feeling unmotivated, like you can't move, you can't even get your head on straight, you don't know where to start, they are coming to help light a fire under your butt, so to say, or they're coming in to help give you a boost of motivation. I almost said a boast. And they're here to really show you that you can do hard things. Even when you don't want to, even when things feel impossible, you are capable. And I feel like this is going to come, maybe one day you get a large burst of energy to clean your home. And then you have to rest for a while. And then maybe in a couple days after that, then you get the urge to go get a whole bunch of things on your to-do list done. And then you need a few more days of rest after that. And things just slowly start picking up for you. And it's almost going to feel like a weight has started to be lifted from your shoulders. I feel like your spirit team is coming in to tell you that if you start things now, you're going to feel this sense of ease whenever you're accomplishing these things that you need to do. They're going to help you lift the weight, so to say. Or maybe there's going to be something that's presented to you in your life that helps motivate you, like a bigger why for why you're doing all of these things. I'm trying to think, like maybe you get a really big opportunity, but you have to meet X, Y, and Z criteria or X, Y, and Z expectations in order to be qualified, right? But like, let's just say it's a job and this company is like, we're really interested in you. We'll decide in the next 6 months, but we just need you to accomplish X, Y, and Z. I feel like that is going to be a very big motivating factor for you to actually get things together and to step out of your comfort zone. As far as how you can help yourself throughout this journey, there's a strong message here of going and continuing to move even when you don't know where you're going or what the end result might be. Moving through the darkness, moving through the illusions, continuing even though you might not believe in yourself, continuing even though you might not have people supporting you or seeing the bigger vision. This is what's really going to form that character for you of self-sufficiency and self-improvement and self-love, because you're making that decision to continue trying even when you really can't see what's up ahead, and to continue supporting yourself even when people might not really agree with you. Having the faith and the belief in yourself that you're being led somewhere greater than where you are, even if it doesn't seem that way. Knowing that you're doing things for a purpose, even if you don't know what that is. There's just a strong message to keep moving, to keep trying, even if you fail, even if there are days where you want to give up or maybe you do give up. Keep going, keep getting back up. Don't quit. Don't quit on yourself, because there is so much more on the other side of this that you are going to be thanking the stars, thanking the heavens, and most importantly, thanking yourself for. Because as far as how this is going to be changing your life, we have the Ten of Swords reversed and the Five of Pentacles. This to me talks about any physical ailments that you're struggling with, those are healing. Mental ailments, those are healing. Any past betrayal, traumas, that is healing. You are feeling stronger, you're feeling wiser, you are feeling more whole. Even though you might have dealt with this pain, you are able to overcome it, and you're able to see the strength that you have, that you've earned. I think you're also developing a much better relationship with work and money and finances and abundance. You're really coming to this understanding of what your energy can really do for you, what your time can really do for you, what your resources truly mean to you, what is actually important for you to own or to spend your money on. And this is wisdom that is going to follow you throughout your life, because you're going to have this experience of relying on yourself and building that strength and building your finances from the ground up. And this experience is going to help you manage your money a lot better, manage your abundance a lot better whenever you do start to welcome in this huge wave of prosperity. Because I mean, we're going to get to what your future self wants to tell you, but it's almost like you're going to be looking back at this time in your life in the future, and you're going to be like, you know what? That experience might have been hard and challenging in the moment, but if I hadn't have gone through that, I wouldn't have the knowledge that I have now to make much smarter decisions. And you're gonna develop this pride where you're like, I don't need to rely on other people to provide for me. I don't need to worry about settling for something that I don't deserve because I need a provider, you know? I don't need to settle in general for anything that I don't want or that isn't healthy for me, because now I know how to provide for myself and how to take care of myself. Because your future self is definitely coming through it, and they're highlighting this energy of you have it all now in the future. You have it all. You have everything that you're dreaming and wishing for. You have the house, you have the car, you have the lifestyle, you have the job, you have whatever it is that you're picturing. You go on these vacations, you know, and your future self is looking back at you now and they're saying, thank you so much for going through what you went through. Thank you so much for deciding enough is enough and putting your foot down and making a change. Thank you so much for believing in who I am, you know, because it's you right now that's believing that there can be this future self, and they're looking back at you and saying, thank you. You really put in the work to make me who I am. I literally could not be here without you. And they want to say, you've become so gentle. You've become so loving. You've become so nurturing. You're a provider for yourself, and that cup overflows into those who are around you. People love to be around you. People consider you one of their closest friends, family members, you know, blood or not. You have excellent relationships. You have business partners who believe in your ideas, who don't narrow you into a corner and make you believe that you're less than. There are people who respect you, who want to build off of your ideas. And there are people who look at you as inspiration. There are people who see you and hear your story, hear what you went through, and they are absolutely blown away with the strength and your character. And this future version of yourself just wants to tell you, keep going, keep striving for better, keep knowing that you're worth more, because you are, and you will get there eventually. And as long as you believe, then nothing can stop you. But, okay, pile one. That is all I have for you here today. If you enjoyed this reading, feel free to give me a like. Feel free to comment. I would love to know more about what's going on for you, how things change for you. Feel free to come back to this video in the future. I'm sending you so much love, so much grace, and so much happiness. And I'm really excited to see this energy for you, to see it transform your life, and to see you reach the highest possibilities that you've ever wanted. And I'm going to leave this here. Feel free to subscribe. I'd love to have you join us here at Tarot Moods for more readings in the future. I hope you have a wonderful good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Beautiful, blessed, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Have a great one. Bye, pile one. Hello, Pile 2. Thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading. I'm really excited to do today's reading because it's all about the harvest blessings that you can expect. I wanted to do this topic because Thanksgiving should be coming up around the time that I post this video, and anytime I think of Thanksgiving, I just think of blessings in general. And oh yeah, I should clarify Thanksgiving in America. Sorry. So yeah, I just really felt called to do a blessings reading because I think the last time I did one was in January of this year, so quite a long time ago, and I've been on a bit of a hiatus from YouTube because honestly, guys, I moved across the United States of America and I started a new job and I live in a house now. It's been a wild ride the last few months, so I feel like I just needed a break from like too many things on my plate, and I needed to get used to my new life. Sorry, that's just like a little spiel. Maybe some of you guys have been watching me for a while and you're kind of like, did she die? Did Tarot Moods die? No, I did not die. I was busy changing my entire life around. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with your reading. So I get the feeling that a lot of you guys right now have been focused on how you can develop your material world, like trying to either earn more money or increase your education about a subject so that you can have a better skill set. You're trying to make yourself more profitable or more marketable. Some of you guys might be trying to go after certain jobs right now, or you're finishing up school, or even some of you guys, maybe you're trying to save money for a big purchase, maybe an experience that you really want to have, but you know that costs a lot of money. Whatever it is, I'm really excited to tell this group that you guys are definitely manifesting that money. You guys, that blessing that's coming for you is definitely the answer to your prayers. Either you guys are going to be literally gaining money, or you're going to be put in an experience where you're able to make more money, but it's going to be a lot easier for you. Like, I get the sense that a lot of you guys have been putting in the work. Maybe some of you have been working multiple jobs. Maybe you guys are working and going to school, and you're coming up on a period where you get paid more for doing less, you know? Like, the groundwork that you have done has really paid off, and you finally get to start reaping the benefits for all that you've been learning, all that you've been working towards. And the reason I'm getting this is because I feel like you've been working with the intention to obviously make more money or to create more abundance in your life, but you weren't really sure how this was going to work. Maybe you guys had a little bit of a vague plan and you were just kind of like, well, it's going to take a few things to line up in order to make sure that this happens, or it's going to take a little bit longer in order to reach these goals. And I think you have been doing a really, really, really good job at listening to what Spirit has to say, listening to the guidance, because here on the Ghost Whisperer card, we have Spirit's wisdom written in the little smoke. I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but it says Spirit's wisdom, and then with the blue lotus, that literally says, I am open to the teachings of the divine. And I think this is highlighting the fact that Spirit has maybe asked you to do some unconventional things, or maybe you've been kind of walking in the dark towards a goal, and they are really proud of you because you're about to see what happens when you actually listen to yourself, you listen to your intuition, and you follow the signs. And I wonder if there have been people in your life who are like, oh, this is never going to happen for you. Oh, that dream is a little too crazy. Oh, that only happens to 1 in a million people. But you've held on to this belief that if you keep going, if you keep working, if you keep developing, something positive is going to come out of this. And I think with book here, you might have been the subject of many people's ignorant beliefs or beliefs about what's possible. Like, maybe there have been people who have looked down upon your ideas, looked down upon what you've been doing or working on for your abundance. And they just really didn't see the bigger picture like you did, or they didn't believe that it was possible. And maybe for a while that really took a hit to your confidence, that really made you question yourself, that made you feel like, maybe what you were doing wasn't enough or it wasn't right. But Spirit is just so proud of you for continuing despite the darkness, despite not knowing what was going on. And I think this blessing, this abundance, this increased finances, this increased status, honestly, because I feel like you guys, not only are you going to be reaching more levels of abundance, you guys might also be developing an audience. You might be teaching people how to do what you're doing. You might be becoming the one of the top people in your field. And I think your story of success and your story of hope is going to help inspire a lot of people. And you're going to have people looking up to you, and now the same people who might have been doubting you, they're going to be turning back around, and they might even be like, okay, I'm so sorry. Like, you might have a lot of people apologizing to you. You might have a lot of people circling back around to say, I didn't believe in this, but that was because I didn't know anyone could accomplish this, and I'm so sorry for doubting in you. How can I learn from you? How did you do this? You have a lot of, in your energy right now, there's a lot of people that are going to be looking towards you for guidance to help them on their own journey. You're going to be opening eyes to people who have kept themselves really small, that didn't really imagine things could happen. Sorry, I'm kind of going all over because messages are just kind of coming at random here. But there's also I feel like you're so close to a breakthrough. And Spirit wants to highlight that there is something like a door opening, an opportunity coming to you, a message, something is coming towards you soon that is going to help open these doors for you, that is going to welcome you into a new level of abundance, into a new world that you've been wanting to creep into. And I wonder, it's going to be an opportunity that Spirit kind of presents to you, and you're going to be curious about. And because that curiosity kind of guides you, and you've been listening to your intuition, you're going to follow that voice that tells you to learn more, or to ask questions, or to reach out, or to go to this space that maybe you normally wouldn't go to, or you wouldn't question. And because you're put there, or because you continue to ask questions, that's when an opportunity is going to come to you. But I feel like it has something to do with you listening to Spirit, listening to the signs, seeing the signs, and trusting that there's something more going on behind the scenes. I don't know how to describe this. I really don't. I guess the best way, I'm going to use personal life examples, not because I'm trying to I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm going to use a personal example here. When I was living still back in Colorado, now I no longer live in Colorado, it got to a point in my job where I was like, okay, I need to get out of this. I had been working myself so hard, and I was miserable, and I was just like, okay, Spirit, what do I need to do? And this energy reminds me of that night. I could not sleep for the life of me. And I think it was 5:30 a.m. And I just got on a whim. I was like, just look, see if there are job opportunities in this place that you really want to move to. Because I had been wanting to move to where I am at now for a really long time. And I was just like, oh, it's not possible. It's not going to happen. But that night I was just like, something inside of me, whether it was Spirit or just my own intuition, my future self, whatever you want to believe in, something was like, just look around, see what's out there. And funny enough, there was an exact position for something I had been doing for about like 8 months at the time. And I was like, oh, it's in the place that I want to go to. It's like within my company, so I could transfer if they hire me, and everything would be pretty easy. And so on a whim, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to spend an hour creating my resume, and I submitted it. And then like 2 or 3 days later, I got the call from the company, and they were like, yeah, we want to interview. And bada bing, bada boom, here we are. So I feel like something serendipitous like that is going to be happening for you soon, where your curiosity is piqued and you are exploring a new opportunity that then leads to a lot more abundance. So I think a main thing here is to be open to whatever hunches, whatever gut feelings you're feeling at this moment, whatever you're being called to explore. Trust that those are leading you somewhere where you need to be, like your next step. I feel like this is a big shift in your material realm that is coming, because we do have, money and status being highlighted here. And I think this opportunity is going to not only give you a sense of relief, like, oh, everything really was worth it, but it's also going to help you lay a foundation for future goals. Like, this is a big goal that you've wanted to reach. This is something that is going to definitely help you in your new phase. But then it's almost like you're crossing a finish line, but you're like, okay, I ran the 5K. Now I get to start training for the half marathon or the 10K. I don't know what it is. Whatever follows run sequences. I don't know. It's not an energy where you're like, okay, this is the end all be all, but this is a step on your journey that you knew you needed to accomplish in order to move forward and to keep going on your goals. It's almost like a big block is being released right now, especially around finances and material wealth. And I think it's because with Diana here and Focused Intention, Diana is here. She represents the goddess that is helping you during this time and helping bring in this blessing for you. It's interesting that she has Focused Intention here. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. I feel like you've mastered this idea of confidence, of belief in yourself. And I kind of feel like you guys are the next step from pile 1, because pile 1 was kind of in this energy of like they needed to master confidence and self-sufficiency and focused intention, in all honesty. And I feel like you guys are the next manifestation after pile 1, where you guys are reaching abundance that you needed, and now you're ready to start on the next thing. But you've mastered that confidence, that self-sufficiency, that inner strength to keep going even when things are clouded, even when you're not really sure what the path forward is. You've mastered walking in the dark and trusting in spirit, and you are seeing the results, the physical results. When this blessing comes in, I think you're going to feel really relieved, and you might even be emotional. Like, you might almost question whether you truly deserve this. And I think this won't stem from a place of insecurity, but from almost a point of shock where you're like, oh my gosh, did I actually accomplish this? Oh my gosh, is this actually happening? Is this real? Someone pinch me, where you're I just knocked the table, where you're kind of just like, I can't believe that I actually did this. You're going to be feeling really, really, really proud of yourself, and really in this great, energetic, celebratory energy. And I do think that things are going to start moving a lot quicker for you. I'm just hearing like wind going past my ear right now, almost like this arrow that Diana has, like zipping past me. It's like you have to move quickly on this opportunity. Not in the sense of that it's going to pass you or that you're going to let it pass you, because I think this is everything you've really wanted for a while. But I think the manifestation of going from where you're at now to actually receiving this blessing and having it as a physical manifestation in your life, it's going to happen fast, and it's going to come faster than expected. And you might have to make a lot of changes in a short amount of time. And it might feel like there's a lot that you have to figure out and you're not really sure where to start. But I think that's also where the spirit wisdom comes through. It's like you've listened to yourself, you've listened to your spirit, you've listened to your spirit guides, you've gotten this far, and you've accomplished this much. If you could do all of that, trust yourself that you will find a way to get everything done. I'm also going to use another personal example because, like, when I was moving down here, everything was pretty much ready to go, except I didn't have a house. I didn't have a house secured until it got down to like the last 2 weeks before I had to move. And my dad was freaking out. He was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? What are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know. Because I knew if I didn't have a house that I enjoyed, I just wouldn't be happy. I knew I was at a point in my house, or at a point in my life where I really needed a physical space that I enjoyed. And I didn't have that secured because none of them felt right. And I finally found the one. It was like 2 weeks down, and I secured it. And it made everything feel a lot better. But I feel like you might be going through something similar where you're being encouraged to not settle and to stand firm in what it is that you want, whether that be, like if you're getting offered a job, have boundaries with what you expect to get paid. Know your worth. If this comes to a living situation or a partnership, have boundaries. Know what you want. Know that you're not willing to settle, because you will be able to be provided by the universe everything that you wanted and more. Have confidence that you will be shown the way, and that things will work out better than you expected. I'm sorry, I just feel like you guys are going through something similar to my energy, so I'm gonna use personal references again. But going back to this house, like whenever I first saw this house, I was in love with it. It had everything that I wanted. It was beautiful, beautiful location. And the only thing is the initial ad said no pets. And I have 2 wonderful, amazing, beautiful, rotten cats that I love very dearly. So I put it in the back of my mind, and I was wishing for like a month. I was like, wow, like I love this house. I wish they accepted pets. And then finally, like once it got down to 2 weeks, I was like, I have not found a space that I'm more in love with than this house. I'm just going to call this landlord and beg. And that's what I did. I was like, listen, I want this house so badly. I've been eyeing it for a month now. I have 2 cats. What can I do to live here? I will do literally anything. And the landlord thought about it for a while, and they called me back and they were like, you know what? I like you. I'll work with you. And I ended up getting the house of my dreams in the location of my dreams, and I still have my 2 wonderful, beautiful cats. So I think the moral of the story here is to not be afraid to negotiate and to not be afraid to ask for things, even if it seems like the answer would be no. Because, and this goes for so many things, like, I didn't think I was qualified for the job that I was applying for, even though like I had the work experience. I was like, this market is way bigger than where I was initially, and it's a lot more competitive. There's no way I'm going to make it. There's no way I'm even going to cut it past like an initial glance at my resume. But lo and behold, here we are. And that is something that I will always recommend to people, is to apply for things that you think you're not qualified for. Because the worst that can happen is you're rejected, and rejection sucks, but after a while you learn from the rejections, and it's almost like a tool. The more you get rejected, the more you can see why you were rejected and what needs tweaking. And I think you start to develop a sense of confidence, because you're like, oh, I'm not scared of rejection anymore, because what's the worst they can say? No, and then I'm put on a different path. That's fine. And this path is probably so much better for me. And I think this newfound confidence, or this confidence that you have developed over your past chapters, is pushing you to this point where you can really start to see what can happen for you when you expect more out of life and you expect more from the universe and you start demanding more. And demanding doesn't mean you have to be mean about it and you have to say, I will only accept X, Y, and Z. But demanding is more like showing the universe that you're willing to put yourself out there for things that you may or may not be qualified for, right? I got my professional job without a college degree, and now I'm here. Those are things that I think a lot of people looked at me and they were kind of just like, oh, she is going nowhere. High school me, college dropout me, going nowhere. But, I made it because I am insane enough to just apply for things and beg for people to give me a chance, and I work hard. And I think you guys are in a similar energy where it's like, don't limit yourself because a paper or a robot says you need X, Y, and Z for qualifications, Because there are so many people out there with qualifications who still don't necessarily do the greatest job at whatever they get accepted for, if that makes sense. And I'm not trying to say hate or shade or throw shade to people, but sometimes it's the individuals who are the underdogs that really do put in the work, who are some of the best employees, some of the best tenants, have the most creative minds. And I just don't want you to limit yourself and see yourself as someone who is held back by maybe what you don't have or what you haven't necessarily accomplished yet, because there are going to be people out there who believe in you and who want to help you, who see themselves in you, and will look past anything as long as they see that you're willing to put in the work, and you just go in there and you prove that they were right for giving you a shot. And, things work out way better than you imagine. But you got to believe in yourself and believe that you're worthy to be in a space. That was a long rant, and we're not even in your tarot portion yet. So I feel like we should bring out the tarot and see what is going on. And I'm so sorry for using a lot of individual references, but I just feel like I've been in this energy before, and there's a lot of fast-moving things happening for you, and I want to assist in whatever way I can and be an older sister that shows you, hey, I've been here, I understand what's going on, let me tell you what I know, and then you can use your discernment to help you however you would like. So I don't have pre-written questions that I want to ask with the tarot. I really am just kind of doing an individualized pull depending on what kind of comes out with the oracle cards. So for you guys, I first want to start out by I want to ask what your future self would like to tell you right now, just to start off. What would Pile 2's future self like to tell them? Okay. So we have the Two of Swords, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords reversed. I think your higher self or your future self is coming through with a message of discernment here. I think, you don't need to be worried because your future self says you got it figured out, you choose correctly, but there is going to come a point where you are faced with two decisions, maybe two jobs or two different paths, two living situations, and I think one of them might be a little deceptive in their practices of trying to convince you to either work with them, live there, or, whatever is happening here. Something is not as shiny as it seems. All that glitters isn't always gold here. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't choose the thing that you are most excited about, because I think you're going to make this decision based off of how you feel intuitively, but your future self is saying to definitely use your brain, use your intuition, and stay grounded. Don't let big offers sway you. Really do your research. Really ask the important questions and going back to maintaining those boundaries and asking for what you deserve and making sure that this space, this community, this new opportunity is really what is going to help support you and lift you up. There's also a message of like, pay attention to the red flags, and don't just like brush them aside. Really question about them, whether it's a person that you're getting red flags from, or like even a living space. Like, is there something that just seems a little off? Are you feeling like a weird gut pull to move on? Because your higher self wants you to know that you're stepping into this period where you're really taken care of in the material realm. You have a lot of things that you're going to be proud of. You have a lot of things going for you, and they don't want you to put yourself in a situation that would jeopardize the balance that you've created for yourself. And even if you feel like let's say in a month or two from now, you feel like you made the wrong decision, your future self isn't saying that you can't back out of this. Like, it's not going to come to a point where you're going to lose all of your abundance or you're going to lose this opportunity altogether. I just think if you make a decision that really truly doesn't align with you, you're going to find out pretty quickly that it doesn't align with you, and you might just have to take a few steps back and backtrack and rework, and it might just cause a few roadblocks in the future that could be avoided if you truly listen to what it is that you want. And since we've talked a lot about like signs and spirit wisdom, I want to see what signs or help from the spirit world they are going to be offering you on this path or this change. What signs or signals? Okay. We have the Two of Cups. I want to pull one more. Spirit, what signs and signals? Did you hear Cricket? She wants attention so bad. I can't right now. I'm so sorry. Some of you guys are being asked to keep quiet about this opportunity until you've really made your decision on what you want to do, especially if this is a big move or just a big life change. I think it could be easy to want to consult people in our lives for advice or their own guidance and perspective on things. But I think that could really take away from what it is that you feel you're being called towards. Because like, let's say you have family members that want you to stick around for their own gain. Not saying like it has to be in a like negative way, but maybe like you're their baby. They don't want to see you go across the country or to go to a new place, and you know, the world is scary, etc., whatever. And so these family members might say, well, how are you going to pay for this? It's hard out there. I can't help you. I can't do this, but blah, blah, blah. And that's just going to cause so much unnecessary stress inside of your brain. And it might make you doubt the choices that you were feeling confident about. But as far as like signs, I feel like spirit, there's a couple different things here. The best choice for you is the thing that makes you feel scared yet excited at the same time. Because the things that challenge us are the things that help us grow. And when things are hard or we don't know what to expect, it can be scary. But if you are at the same time feeling this weird positivity, this excitement, this joy to live this new version of you or live this new life, I think you should listen to that pull and you should explore that more. I also think Cups is a water card. I think if you're questioning what decision to make, instead of going to like people in your life, maybe go to a body of water. You might find answers there where you're meditating. Maybe you're by a waterfall or a river, anywhere where there's moving water. It might help you calm your mind and really listen to Spirit's advice there, or to just listen to your own advice and hear what it is that your soul is really telling you. I also think you might start meeting and connecting with people who do similar things that you're wanting to do, or who have been presented with a similar opportunity. And those are kind of going to be the people that you really connect with. If you start meeting people who have made big moves, big decisions, who have made a big leap in their life, especially in the material financial world, you're going to start connecting with those types of people around the time that this starts happening. And those are going to be good people to bounce ideas off of and to really relate to, because I think these people are going to be the ones that are encouraging you to do what's best for you and to be courageous. I just think more like-minded individuals are going to start coming into your life as this transforms and as this starts to take fruition. Lastly, I want to see if there's anything you can do to prepare for this change or to prepare to receive this blessing. Okay, so we have the Fool. I think this is honestly just coming through to tell you to be excited to receive new opportunities and be open to them, to not put on blinders for what's to come, to not hold expectations other than what you deserve, to be open to receiving. I think also inviting more fun into your life, connecting back to things that made you happy when you were a kid could help usher this in a little bit more quickly. Also spending time in nature, going outside, connecting with yourself, with your body. Those can all be things that help center and ground yourself in order to be prepared when this opportunity comes in. But pile 2, that is all I have for you here today. I hope this resonated. If it did, feel free to give me a like, feel free to comment, and feel free to subscribe. I'd love to have you join us here at Tarot Moods for videos in the future. But I'm going to leave this here for you. I hope you have a absolutely wonderful good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Bye, Pile 2. Hello, Pile 3. Thanks so much for being here with me today for your reading. I'm really excited to do this reading because I think the last time I did a blessings reading was earlier this year in January. So it's been well over at least 10 months since I've done this reading, and I think because this is going to be coming out a little bit before Thanksgiving here in America, I got reminded of doing blessings because Thanksgiving always reminds me of blessings. So that's kind of the inspiration behind this here. I do want to say a little note here. I've been filming lots of readings back to back to back to back, and it's been a couple days since I've sat down to film this reading, and I have gotten a little sick, so you might hear that in my voice, a little shift, a little change. So sorry. I might lose a little bit of my voice every now and then while I am doing this, so just bear with me. We're gonna get the messages out, and we are going to make sure you know what blessings are coming to you. So right off the bat, I just want to say, I think you would resonate with this group if you are the type of person who has been struggling with being vulnerable or allowing people to really get to know the true you. I wouldn't be surprised if you might align with a bit more of a loner energy, or just someone who doesn't have a whole bunch of friends or connections. Maybe you've been single for a really long time. And I do want to say there might be a very valid reason for that. I don't think it comes down to something as you've been doing something wrong or people just don't like you. I don't think it's that. I actually think this group of people have been quite overprotective of themselves because they are scared of what it means to let someone else have their heart or to see them fully. Because I think this group has had some pretty negative experiences in the past that left them pretty scarred. Whether that be betrayal or things not working out, having the rug ripped out from under you when it comes to a connection that you really cared about. And I think instead of blaming other people, you kind of took that blame more inward, and you were just okay, I don't want to have this happen again, so I'm going to start wearing my armor, so to say. I'm going to start protecting myself. I'm going to make sure no one can hurt me the way I've been hurt before. And that started almost like isolating you from true connection, because your soul or your mind or whatever you resonate with, it got a little confused with how to tell who is someone that's safe versus who is not. Who is someone that will accept you for who you truly are and who is not. It's almost like I'm being shown a compass right now, like a compass, an internal compass got a little skewed, and it's going every which way. And so instead of making a decision that could end up hurting you, you just decided to not make any decisions and to just be on your own. And I think that worked for a while. I think you got comfortable with yourself, becoming your own best friend, exploring the things that make you happy. I think you really went on a very deep, intense self-love journey that left you a lot more whole on the other side. I do feel like this group has done some intense healing when it comes to developing a stronger sense of self. But I think now there's this undying hunger or craving for connection that won't go away. And you might have for a while tried to brush it off. You've gotten used to this, I only need me energy, I don't need other people. But every now and then you had these bouts of loneliness, or every now and then you would see like a old couple walking through the park and you're like, oh wow, maybe that would be nice to have one day, but I've got to stay strong, I've got to protect myself. Maybe to combat these urges, you've even started hiding parts of your vulnerability from other people. You've hid parts of your personality. You've hid this sweetness or this softness, these aspects of yourself that you can't get rid of. Like, I want to say you can't get rid of who it is that you truly are. And I think a lot of you would agree with the fact that before this pain happened, before this betrayal, whatever happened here, you guys had a very open heart and you were very soft, very sweet, very loving, very open with your energy. And to protect yourself, you've been trying to, I wouldn't go as far as say like kill those parts of you, but that's just how it's coming through to me right now. Like, you've been trying to significantly lessen the portrayal of those traits inside of you, because you don't want people to see that and take advantage of it like they have or they could have had in the past. But deep down, I think your soul and your spirit always knew that you couldn't keep this protection up forever, because who you are at your core is a lover, and you're meant to show people love. You're meant to have connection. Some of you guys might even be natural extroverts or even ambiverts. Ambiverts are those who get energy both from recharge and other people. But there's something very highlighted right now about the connections with other people. Naturally, connections are incredibly important to you, and they teach you a lot about not only the world, but about yourself. I would honestly highly recommend looking at your 7th house and seeing if you have a lot of placements or planets in the 7th house, because this does give me energy of maybe sun in the 7th house or moon in the 7th house, where connections and your relations are extremely highlighted throughout your entire life. And they teach you something about yourself. And maybe even slowly you've started noticing your energy decreasing, or you've noticed maybe a little bit of depression coming up here and then. Maybe it's even worse than that. You would know yourself in your situation. But I do think Spirit is highlighting that this is stemming from a lack of connection that you so desperately need, and the craving of your soul to connect with other people and to be vulnerable and to quit hiding. Because that's really what started all of this for you guys. You wanted to be open and have a connection, and you wanted to rely on someone, and then being let down so suddenly, you didn't know how to cope with that. But Spirit is saying that's in the past now, and it's time to move forward, and we're here to help you move forward, because the blessing that you're stepping into, I know this is a lot of information, but I'm just this is how I channel. The blessing coming for you is either significant friendships coming into your life, maybe relationships, whatever it is, there's a breakthrough coming to you about the need for partnership, the need to show your loving emotions and to have people love you back. And it's almost like you did all of your healing journey that you needed to do when it comes to becoming your own best friend. But now it's time to go back into the world and experience love from other people now. Because sometimes there's certain things we can't really heal from unless we're in relationships. There's certain types of healing that can't be done unless it comes from other people, you know? We can try all we want to love ourselves into the best person, but if we're incredibly lonely, that's a shadow that really needs healing from connection and love. I think a blessing coming to you is finally being able to trust your senses, to trust your gut, and to trust other people again. It's like I'm being shown this person that is almost like a feral cat, you know, who used to have a loving home. They've been on the streets for a really long time. And then this random person starts leaving food every day for this cat. And the cat is wary at first. He's grateful for the food, but he doesn't trust humans anymore, right? But through the act of consistency, this cat starts to anticipate this person showing up with food, right? So they wait every day. And then this person starts showing up with maybe a feather toy, tries to get the cat to play after he eats. At first, the cat is like, "What are you doing? I am a big bad scaredy cat now. I can't do that. I'm just here for the food." But then slowly every day, things start to pique the cat's curiosity, and he starts messing with the feather toy, and slowly the personality in him starts coming back, and he starts forming this true connection, this true bond with this human. And then, one day, maybe the cat comes up to the human and starts brushing on his leg or purring things that this cat didn't think he'd ever be capable of. But he starts to feel safe with this human. And then, at the end of the day, I guess the moral to this story is the cat goes home with the human and they live happily ever after, and the cat comes back to its loving self and his personality comes back and he's happy. That's kind of the trope or the story that I'm seeing here. And what's interesting with the dragon, I do feel like this dragon connects to the leap of faith. I'm going to tackle that. But first I want to say the dragon is all about bravery. The bravery to do hard things or to do things that are scary. The bravery to experience life even though life comes with the lesson of death and rebirth and things falling away. The bravery to put yourself back out there. The bravery to know that no matter what happens, you can protect yourself and you're there for yourself. You already went through the hardest part, the hardest lessons, so to say. It's never going to impact you the way that it used to, because you're no longer the person you once were. You've grown, you've changed, you've matured, and it's time to let people see who you've become. I wonder if there are significant people from the past that are coming up to try and rebuild a connection with you, and that might make you pretty scared, understandably so. But I do see you taking this leap of faith. And it's interesting, this leap of faith really, like the angel or the pixie, whatever, I can't see what she's really represented as here. The posing and the posture on both the dragon and the leap of faith card look very similar. And the leap of faith card says, take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. And how I'm getting this download right now is put your heart out there and see who's willing to hold it. The blessing of being vulnerable enough with other people to see the beauty of you and to see you for who you truly are and not some version of you that you've created in order to protect yourself. I think true divine love and connection is absolutely on its way to you. Maybe you even have an inkling of who this could represent or the people coming in. I feel like the next full moon is going to be significant from whenever you are watching this video. Since I'm filming this in the middle of October, I am not sure when the next full moon is going to be whenever I post this. But the reason I'm saying that is because we both have, I believe these are waxing gibbuses. We have a waxing gibbous on the harvest moon. We have a waxing gibbous on the dragon. And then I'll try and show you, but this light beam that's coming through the clouds in the leap of faith card, even though it's not a moon, it kind of looks like it's in the shape of a waxing gibbous as well. So I feel like there's a big catalyst on the way to you, and you've been preparing yourself, whether you know it or not, for something big and divine to enter. I want to see what a waxing gibbous actually represents. Okay, so I pulled out the Celestial Bodies guidebook because they have the moon phases in here, and I'm looking at the key terms for a waxing gibbous. This says overcoming, clarifying goals, pushing away from the past for good, struggle, communication, coming into fullness, but still a sense of anticipation. This is like before the next full moon, you are wrapping up a cycle of the past. You are overcoming what is keeping you held back and what is causing the most struggle in your life. And I think with this Harvest Moon card, this says slow your heart and move gently into the coming of self, which is kind of what we've been talking about. You know, you're stepping in to a new version of yourself. You're blooming into a version of yourself that allows for connection and vulnerability. I think Spirit is wanting to say, don't feel pressure to move quicker than you feel comfortable with, you know? If you're the type of person who's been single for 7 years, meeting someone that you like and you feel you could really continue getting to know them, that can be extremely scary. And it would be intimidating if that person tries to move things a little too quickly. I think you're absolutely being encouraged to take things at a pace that feels comfortable for you, that feels like a pace that you can balance with your everyday life, and something that just feels comfortable, you know, natural too. That's something I'm getting here. I think you'll know what's a more grounded connection versus what's not whenever you feel like things happen naturally. Like you're not pushing for a connection, you're not pushing for conversation, you're not pushing for a hangout. Things are just naturally evolving with the seasons, with the moon cycle, you know? And also there's just a focus of taking care of yourself throughout this process, because I think while you are going to be reaping these blessings, and it's going to be a huge highlight, I think, for you, that sets a turning point, there might be a lot of stress that comes with meeting new people and accepting new people into your life and opening up, and you might need time to retreat and still have that sense of what word am I looking for? Like independence, you know? Set time aside for you to still feel comfortable in your independence, but don't feel the urge, or don't fall into the pattern of being hyper independent and pushing people away, Be open to receive, be open to love, but also do things that make you feel happy. And also just practicing open communication. If there are people who are genuinely interested in you, be honest about what you struggle with. Be honest about what you're thinking. Be honest about what has happened in the past and why you may be a little hesitant now. I think people who are genuinely interested in getting to know you would love to understand more about your mind and more about who you are as a person. And it could help them find easier ways to support you throughout this transition, But I am kind of hitting a dead end here. So we're going to move into tarot cards because that was a big spiel that happened. That was like a 25-minute spiel here that we just did. We're going to move into tarot and see what else comes through. I want to see what you need to know about the people coming into your life or the connections you are about to experience. What does pile 3 need to know about these connections? Okay, we have a card that fell down. We have the 8 of Cups reversed. I do want to pull a clarifying card for that one. We've got the Sun. Okay, I love this energy. I don't have questions written out because each group has been so different that I've just kind of been thinking of questions on the spot, which is actually working for me here. Let me know if it's working for you. But for our next question, I want to know why you can trust yourself now versus the past. Why is it that pile 3 can trust themselves now? We've got the Queen of Swords reversed. In moments where pile 3 is scared, what can they do to support themselves? That came out quick. We have the Queen of Pentacles reversed. And I also want to know, what do these new connections love the most about you? What do these new connections love the most about you? We have Strength, and I want to pull one more. And the 6 of Pentacles. Okay, let's digest. Something that is coming through strongly with the 8 of Cups reversed and the combination of the Sun, these people who are stepping into your life, I think you're going to resonate a lot with their journey, or you're going to see a lot of similarities between what they have gone through and what you have gone through. And it's going to help make you feel a lot more comfortable sharing with them, because these people are people who have also been wounded, who have gone through toxic relationships, who have felt the rug ripped out from under them, who have felt the chaos of the world, who have dealt with unhealthy relationships in their life. But these are people who have chosen to face the light, to go towards positivity, to know their worth, and to keep going despite feeling scared. These are also people who have faced darkness and come out better on the other side, who are brave, who they just resonate a lot with your energy, and I think that's why they are so drawn to you, and we're going to see more of that whenever we get to what they love the most about you. But these are people who have decided that living their life in a way where they feel miserable is no longer working for them, and they want positivity, they want light and lighthearted fun. They don't want drama anymore. They don't want to walk on eggshells anymore. They just want to be their most authentic selves. And they want to build with friendships, with partnerships who support them. I think these people are very different from people you've met in the past, and I do get like a sense of divine timing here where, this is a time in your life that was kind of written out by the universe, or maybe written out by you before you came down here. This is a time in your life where you're really meeting people who actually are going to stick around, who know the ups and downs of the world and who are tired of fickle relationships and unsupportive characters. I think a big reason why you can trust yourself now, with the Queen of Swords reversed, I think you might align with the idea that you've had the pendulum swing very harshly to both sides, so to say. Like, you've been the person where you thought way too positively about the world, to the point where maybe you might have been a little delusional about relationships and connections or the world. And you've also had the pendulum swing the other way, where you've been way too pessimistic, way too negative. You weren't seeing clearly what reality was on both ends of the spectrum. And I think that pendulum has balanced itself out. And you feel a lot more grounded now. You see things a lot clearer now. I think you've also done a lot of work with emotional maturity and just maturity in general. I think you've worked really hard on shadows, and you've worked really hard with seeing that other people's actions are just a reflection of how they feel about themselves and not based on who you are, if that makes sense. I think I might have been skewing that phrase in a weird way, but you've developed a stronger sense of self, which then makes you able to understand other people easier. It makes you not take their behavior as harshly, and therefore you're not reacting as harshly, or you're not getting overly emotional about what people do or don't do anymore. You've really blossomed and transformed into a person that I think deep down people would be lucky to have in their lives. And that's why you can trust yourself now. I think you truly do love yourself, and you understand that you have flaws, you have a past. One of my favorite sayings is I guess this isn't my saying, but I heard it from Isotero like years ago, and it's just really stuck with me. Like, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. And I think you've realized that people change, you can change, and you've held a lot of forgiveness for people that you really didn't think you could. And in turn, you've forgiven yourself for things that you didn't think you could. And you're ready to turn over a new leaf. And that's why you can trust yourself now. For how you can help yourself in those moments where you're feeling scared or you need bravery, but it's hard. Queen of Pentacles reverse. I think this is just a reminder that it is good to take things slow. It's going back to that message of do what comes naturally. If you feel like people are being a little too pushy, people are trying to create a connection or create a bond that would take a lot longer than the time that they are trying to create it in, be wary. You have a right to be wary. You have a right to want to be strict with your boundaries or be honest about how it might make you uncomfortable. Don't be afraid to protect yourself from energies that you feel are not healthy. And don't be afraid to let time really test the people who you decide to put your trust in. And I'm not saying you have to keep people out on a limb for an extended period of time. But if after a week someone's telling you that you're perfect or trying to love bomb you, take that as a sign that, that's not healthy. That's not normal. Use people's behavior and consistency as a gauge throughout time. And then healthily start to open up and start to spend time with those people that make you feel good. As far as what these people coming into your life are going to love the most about you, we have Strength and the Six of Pentacles. And the message I just really got is people really, really, really look up to you as a pillar of light. People think you are incredibly kind, incredibly generous, and they love how reciprocal you are with their energy. I think if there's people from the past coming around, they're really maybe not inspired, what's the word I'm looking for? They're maybe even shocked at how good of a friend you actually can be when you're not terrified of connection, you know? I think that might, if you resonate with the energy of like keeping people locked out for an extended period of time, there might have been people who saw you in a different way because you were trying to portray a version of yourself that really didn't align with who you were. And these people are noticing that, you know, you've done some incredible healing work, and who you are is actually so beautiful and so different. And some of them are even like, they're like, man, I could have been friends with this version of you. This version of you rocks. This version of you, this authentic version of you is the better version of you. Screw all the hidden things and your trying to be tough guy act. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. You know, people are really appreciating who you are at your core. And they like you better now that you're not pretending. I think people also see you as incredibly strong for everything that you've gone through and everything that you've grown through. I think there's a lot of people who would say, I couldn't imagine what it was like going through that time period. I couldn't imagine healing from what you've had to heal through. And the fact that you've grown into such an amazing person, despite all of the turmoil that you've gone through, they just find it to be incredible. And I think there are some people who would even go as far to say, like, I would do anything for you, you know? These people that you are going to form deep friendships, deep bonds, deep relationships with, whatever form that comes in, these people really are the type to be ride or die, right along there with you through the ups and downs, because I think they feel the pain that you went through, or they hear you whenever you say, you know, it was really hard to go through what you went through alone, and they don't want to see you go through things alone anymore. And they feel really blessed to have you open up and be a part of their life and to choose to be around them just like they're choosing to be around you. Whew, so I'm getting a little emotional. If that resonated, I just want to say I'm so excited for you guys, Pile 3. This is a really beautiful reading, and I just feel really blessed that I get to deliver the message of these blessings to you. I think it's about damn time that you experience love and connection and you feel safe with people again. But that is all I have here for you today. If you resonated, feel free to give me a like. Feel free to comment. I love reading comments. And also, please join us here at Tarot Moods. I'd love to have you subscribe and stick around for videos in the future. But I'm going to leave this here. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Bye, Pile 3.